Hey everybody, Live Farmer 73 here. Just wanted to show you guys a couple of things. To show you the grafts that I took earlier on this year. This spring, if you want to call it, because we ain't really in summer yet. But it's been a couple of months. But I wanted to come out here and show you what we got going on here. Because now, for everybody that was trying to follow me doing the grafts, this is what you got to expect. And everybody said, when do you take the tape off? And I really don't have an answer for that, because I take the tape off when it's starting to squeeze into the graft, when it start growing and it start girdling it. Or I take, let's just get to it. Watch this. Sometimes you don't have to take the tape off. This is why I like electrical tape, because I'm gonna zoom in on that, okay? Because sometimes it does everything itself. And the electrical tape, when it gets hot, it start, loosening up, and then that graft just busts through just like that. See that? It didn't need no help from me. So I figured I better come out here and take this off. See the split down the middle, the V? Here's the tape. Tape is busted open. All I gotta do is remove it. It's done it itself. So that's it. That graft has taken on its own and unwrapped itself and everything. This is why I like electrical tape, because it don't take a whole bunch of know-how. Now that grafting tape, that stuff is really thin, and that's for certain applications, but really not for this, for me. So as you can see here, here's one. It ain't quite busted out yet, but it also ain't really start girdling. And I can feel in here, it's nice, and it took real nice and everything. And I can see a lot of growth. Look at this, all the way up, all the way up. So with that being said, let's just look in here and find out what we got. Ooh. Let's find out what we got in there. I can just remove it like this. I thought I was gonna have to cut it, but nope. As you can see, the rubber band is still in there, holding it tight, locking in the moisture. It's starting to cling back on itself. Let me take that off so you can see better. Yeah, see that rubber band is actually girdling it. So right now, see how that's cutting into that right there? Look at that. That's what you don't want, that girdling. There it is. Let's get a side view. I got a whole branch in my way here. That right there is what you're looking for. See that? You can see the V on this one too. See that V in the cut? Right here, move, leaf. That V, down and up. That took perfectly. So it worked. So when you take your, when you're talking about when you take the tape off, either you see girdling. The reason why you don't want to take your tape off too soon, your graft might take, and it might be doing great. Here's the problem. Birds like to perch on the highest tip of all of your trees. And what happens is, when that big fat bird come lay on your tree, it's gonna knock the graft off. Most of my grafts, I'm gonna say about 98% of my grafts always take. And the only thing that always knock them off is a bird or a squirrel, every time. So now I've learned, just leave the tape on, be patient, leave the tape on, and until it's an emergency. That way, now, look, you got a big, strong graft. So anything can come up here and land on here. Look, I still got the wax on the tip up here. Anything can land on here and be just fine. So I did graft on, this is the 20th century Asian pear. This is the red sensation. And let me see, and I got the second pear down here on the bottom down here. Now that's gonna be kind of hard to see, as you can see that right there. That's the second pear graft I got inside the woods right here. Try to get a better angle on it for you. That's the second. And as you can see, I mean, that graft is about 5 feet tall now. Let's see how that turned out. I got tape everywhere, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut that straight up. Really don't like doing that. Trying to fix a wound with a wound. There we go. That'll heal over. I'll put some more wax on that little cut I just did, and it'll heal just fine. But as you can see right there, that's the bark graft I did, and it took wonderfully, wonderfully. So you might want to learn how to pull this off, do a little grafting, because you may need it. This tree was doing horrible. But as you can see, when I told you to graft onto an existing stump, how fast and how fast your tree gonna grow and how big it's gonna end up being, look, that's done. Oh, that's just the glue from the tape. Look at that. You can't tell nothing hardly where it's supposed to be or nothing. That's it right down in there. See that? That's where I covered up that whole branch that I jammed down in there with the flap of the bark. Get a better, let me get a better angle. I covered up the whole patch right there, and that's where it was open right there, and that's it. But this is it. Watch my hand. I can't even go all the way to the top. So that's it, you guys. That's how you pull it off. And easy graft. So what I'm gonna do now is, it's a lot of these branches that I don't need. Those used to be helper branches. So those were from the existing tree that I won't need. So all I'm gonna do is just snip a few of them off and let this thing go to town. So that's it. Let me show you. Those down at the bottom, I don't need those at all. The beaver bee done got me down there. So all of these was helpers. I don't like that one. I think I like this one. I'm gonna let the rest stay. But this is just one more piece that you can graft onto something else. That's a hood pear right there. I can graft that on anything or any other pear. So that's it, you guys. I just wanted to show you this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go over here and look at one more tree that me and my son, Little Led, did, and then we get out of here. Okay, what is it? Almost the end of June. It's like the 29th or something like that. And it's been a couple of months since me and Little Led did these grafts. I just want to show y'all from a far away distance. This is the tree that we did experiments on. I cut this whole Wolf River tree down, and me and Little Led did our grafts on it. I can't remember, I think this one was his right here, but as you can see, don't look at this. That was gonna fall off anyway. I told y'all the leaves never stay, but it's still green inside there. I scratched it earlier. It's green. Mine is green. You know, even some of the leaves are still green on there. So everything is doing wonderful. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different apples on this giant trunk. I mean, look at this trunk. You know, that's gonna push them out real quick. How much those little grafts took. Those are all those little bitty sticks that me and Little Led did this spring, earlier this spring. See that? This is Little Led's branch right here. This the one he did, his very, very first one. All of that is from him doing that graft with me. Showing my boy how to do it. Now this little one back here, it don't look like it's doing so well. And the only reason is because this one here, this is as big as that is. And the only reason is all the energy is going to this big mama over here. That one went crazy, as you can see. Look at that. That one is insane. It's drinking up all the juices. So I'm not even gonna worry about this one back here. That's fine. I'm gonna leave it, but I am gonna remove the tape because the tape is really pulling. As you can see, the top healed up okay. Everything looks good, but I can now actually see it girdling right there. Let me zoom out so you can see better. Look, that all took beautifully. So this whole tree is me and Little Led's graft experiment, me teaching him how to graft. If you guys want to see that from earlier this spring, I'll put the link down at the bottom of this video so you can see how dramatic this really is. Look at that. Now that is what your graft that's what you want your graft to look like when it's all said and done. Let me get up in there so you can really see it. See that? All we did was cover that with the bark. We split the bark down the middle, opened it up, and covered the sticks. Jammed the stick down in there and covered it over. I showed you guys how to do this. So this is just the result of what we did. Now look, all of this big giant branch. This used to be a little stick. This giant whole thing here. All of this side over here. See all, wait, let me pull it. All of this side is that branch. So that's what we did all around this tree. And y'all saw me cut it down to, it was bald headed. Wasn't nothing left. All of this is grafted. As you can see, I'm not going to go in and keep removing it, but as you can see, everything is grafted. Everything took. Look at the size of that one. That's just as healthy and big and strong. And look at this. All the way up. So that's it, you guys. That's a little bit of, this may be my last result until we get some apples. See how fast, if you already got an existing trunk of your tree, see how fast those cuttings take. You would take a cutting that big and graft it onto your tree. You will have a whole tree. Remember, we just did this a couple of months ago. The year ain't over yet. So by about August, October, when stuff is starting to cool down, this thing is going to be like 15, 20 feet tall. All from those little bitty cuttings. So if you got a tree that's failing, you don't got to just chalk it up and say it's, it's done for. Chop that sucker clean off because it got a good base. Graft onto it. There you go. And see, I'm glad I did this tree because let me show y'all something. I told y'all about watching for fire blight. I've been neglecting my tree because I saw a little fire blight and I said it in one video. I said, oh, I got to get this fire blight. Never did. Working too hard. And look what happened. See all that fire blight? See all those apples? All of those apples right there, all the pieces I grafted onto this tree are not fire blight resistant. The only one that is the Granny Smith. That's the only green you see. But everything else, fire blight got it. So instead of me taking it out, I'm going to start this whole tree over again. And down here, cut it right there and start over with all fire blight resistant trees that can handle my weather and handle my area. That's it, you guys. Sound like I got more than one rooster now. Anyway, thank you. I hope this helped you, and if you need any help, please contact me at leadfarmer73@yahoo.com. I can help you graft onto your tree. All right, leadfarmer73, I love you, and I'm out.